Today, Iraq is dominating the news with arguments both about how we got into the war in Iraq and how we'll get out. This afternoon, Congress will send President Bush a bill calling for a timetable for withdrawal. He plans to veto it. And former CIA Director George Tenet is facing new criticism for saying the White House pushed for war based on thin intelligence. Joining me now is Democratic Congressman John Murtha. He's the chairman of the House Defense Appropriations Subcommittee. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning.
Nice to be here, Contessa.
You know, the Bush administration, as well as some former CIA officers, say that George Tenet is just trying to shift the blame for his own mistake and basically getting it wrong on Iraq's weapons of mass destruction. As the CIA chief here, isn't Tenet ultimately responsible for all of the bad intelligence?
There's no question about it. And I think I heard him say he made some mistakes. But he didn't make the decision to go to war. The White House made the decision to go to war. There's intelligence from all over the world, and they're the ones that made the decision. They're trying to blame everybody else. They blame the Congress. They blame me. They blame anybody that speaks out against this war. They try to spin it, and they're doing the same thing with George Tenet.
But you authorized it. How much blame should you bear?
Yeah, I said I made a mistake. I said it over and over again. I listened to the intelligence, and I thought there were weapons of mass destruction. I was in Iraq just 10 days before the war started, and the military said they draw a line around Baghdad and they'll attack us with, when we cross that line, they'll attack us with biological weapons. I believed that. Of course, it didn't take me long to find out I'd made a mistake. So there was bad intelligence, but that's not the point. The point is you have to be skeptical about intelligence, and you have to admit you made a mistake, and then you have to change the direction you're going in. This is what we're arguing about right now, a change in direction in Iraq, where so many Americans have been killed since he said mission accomplished.
You know, Congressman, now you were one of the first who said we should withdraw our troops. A lot of lawmakers have joined you in this new bill that tried to set a deadline for withdrawing the troops, and the president has promised to veto that. It could happen today, it could happen tomorrow. At this point, what happens after the president vetoes it? Because you still have a lot of American boots on the ground over there, and they need the money to keep operating.
Well, not only have boots on the ground, they're going to send people back with just a year at home. They're sending young people back. They're burned out. They're worn out. They're frustrated. They inspire me. These troops inspire me. But having said that, I hope the president will sign this bill. If he doesn't sign it, we'll come back with what I recommend is a shorter version of this supplemental, so we can look at it a little bit later as this unfolds. But we've lost more people in the first 4 months of this year than we lost any time during the war. 50% more than we lost last year. So they say the surge is working, and yet we've lost more Americans in this 4-month period than any other period during the war.
All right. Well, now when the president says he might be willing to add in some benchmarks to the legislation for funding, but not benchmarks that would punish the Iraqi government for failing to meet some of them, what's your response to that? How should this compromise happen?
Yeah. Contessa, let's look at the facts. The facts is they haven't done de-Baathification. They haven't changed the Constitution. They haven't worked with the Sunnis. They haven't passed a law to spread out the money for the oil. I mean, they've done none of the things that they're supposed to do. There's less electricity than there was when Saddam Hussein was there. Only 5.8 hours of electricity a day in Baghdad. 40% unemployment. They're going backwards. Most of the people say it's all right to kill Americans. So we need to give the Iraqis the incentive, and that's why we think benchmarks and timelines are the direction to go. Let the Iraqis understand that they're the ones that are going to control their own destiny.